more. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on Wood Radio.
What a wild day. The sun is shining. We'll take that, and cooler temps still yet. But we're going to get up to the 70s and even 80 by Monday for Memorial. What a great forecast. We'll talk about that coming up in just minutes. Things heating up in the news as well. We got a stack of stories to get to. Breaking news here in Michigan in the governor's race. We'll talk about that. And with one of the candidates affected in the latest shakeup and the shenanigans you won't want to miss coming up in just moments as we kick things off.
News, weather, and traffic. And the biggest stories of the day. We're talking about what matters most in West Michigan and beyond. This is the Big Three. Now, today's Big Three.
Yeah, the stories that matter most. Should be talking about these around the water cooler, the dinner table, no matter where you are. Powered by good friends at Heartland Home Mortgage. Dave Calloway and the team ready to help you. Whether you want to buy, refi, home equity line of credit, you can do all three. They've helped us each and every time. We save thousands, and so many people that listen to this program have too. Reach out to the team today at hhmlending.com.
Number one.
And get the help that could save you big bucks. It is another shakeup, signature shenanigans in the race for governor here in Michigan. Republican gubernatorial hopeful Ralph Rebat, Democrat Kim Thomas shouldn't qualify for the August primary ballot because they did not file enough valid nominating petition signatures, Michigan election officials recommend Wednesday. That's a report from Bridge. U.S. Senate candidate Barrett Smith, who hoped to challenge Mike Rogers in the Republican primary, turned in fewer than 7,000 signatures, less than the 15,000 required to make the ballot. And I dug into the story because I saw the headline and I wondered, here we go again? In the meantime, I'm not the only one. Perry Johnson, another candidate for governor in the Republican races, have not yet had the opportunity to analyze the staff report that is attempting to keep Ralph Reban off the ballot, but I've been through this before. He knows it all too well. With Jocelyn Bisson, Secretary of State, and he has my support in taking this fight to the Board of Canvassers. And that's exactly where he'll go on May 28th, and we'll have the latest because Pastor Ralph Reban joining us coming up in just a moment. We're going to get the details and actually break down the numbers behind the report and talk about what exactly is going on with this story. Is this just a redo of something we've seen before? Something we've never seen before, but we've heard quite a bit about AI taking jobs. Looks like it may even happen here in Grand Rapids, just like a week after they get the amphitheater open with its namesake, Acrisure. The Michigan insurance giant saying they're going to fire thousands, at least laying off at least 2,250 workers. Not sure where they're all going to come from. Maybe some in Grand Rapids, maybe throughout the country. But that's 11% of its workforce. They say due to AI. The AI just makes it easier for them to get the job done. Meanwhile, tell that to the people who are losing those jobs here in Michigan.
Number three.
And beyond. Former Cuban dictator Raul Castro indicted by a federal grand jury. And it's all because of, a story that's 30 years ago or so. U.S. federal grand jury in Miami has indicted the former Cuban leader Raul Castro, now 94, on charges including murder and conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals. The charges stem from Cuba's 1996 shoot-down of two unarmed brothers to the rescue there in civilian airplanes. And, of course, you'll have more on that. But people in Cuba excited, and also here in the United States and Miami as well, because they are looking at a possibility in a story like this of Cubans being set free. As each day that possibility gets a little closer. Of course, you've heard Trump talk about this, and we'll get some of that audio coming up here in just a little bit. Mike Rogers joins us running for Senate today. He'll come in at 9:35. But first, we want to talk to you and Pastor Ralph Reban.
Call Justin now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Pastor, welcome. And I saw this story and I wondered to myself, oh boy, here we go again. Signature shenanigans. It seems like we've seen this movie. Hey, walk us through it. Welcome, man, and tell us what your team is learning today.
Well, first of all, thank you, Justin, for having me on. We just found out about this last night. However, we did think ahead on this. We photocopied everything that we handed in because we just don't trust Jocelyn Benson. And we went through our signatures that we handed in. We combed through everyone. We took out ones that we thought were questionable. And we know that the ones that we turned in, there are at least 15,000 legitimate signatures. And if you look at it and you think about the bigger picture, every poll that has Jocelyn running against one of, and I say opponents, I like these guys, but she's winning in all those. I'm the X factor. And wherever we've been going, and I'm sure you've been following this, Justin, we're winning polls. We're winning hearts. We're winning counties. There are people getting all over. It's just getting behind us all over the place. And when we come out and say we're going to investigate Jocelyn and her rule set that she passed, which is against federal election laws, that scares them. And I think, as I've been winning all the debates as well, it's been crazy. And I think she's afraid because I'm honest, truthful, factual, intellectual. She doesn't have those qualities. The only way that she's going to win this election is by getting someone off the ballot that she doesn't know if she could beat or not. So that's why they came after me.
Pastor Ralph Freeman is on the phone running for the Republican nomination there, that primary taking place in August. But first, you got to get on the ballot. And that process looks like turning in the number of signatures that you need, a certain amount of signatures. Now, as I understand it, and this has been controversial in the last several years anyway, but it's 15,000. They've got to be ruled valid. And there's all sorts of, I's that have to be dotted and T's crossed. How many total did you say you submitted again?
18,214. So
you expect, this probably doesn't come as a surprise for you. Expected gave a little padding there.
Right. And we threw out, I would say 1,000 to 2,000 signatures we got rid of because of the very things that they were talking about. So I'm just wondering if they didn't cherry pick a few pages, use those as the sampling just to keep me off the ballot. It would not surprise me.
So as I look at this, and the story says in the sample they looked through, the report says there were 110 people, they say, that weren't registered to vote in the city or township listed on the petition they signed. So that could be as simple as someone who is registered to vote. They're in Michigan, but oops, they're on the wrong sheet. And as people are going around collecting these, as I mentioned, the I's have to be dotted and the T's have to be crossed, so on and so forth. And all of these things have to be absolutely perfect or you don't make it on. Does this whole process, regardless of whether you get through or not, I mean, and maybe even more so if you do, as maybe you're elected governor. Is this something that you'll work on to fix? Maybe get this whole process ironed out so it's easier, it's more straightforward?
Oh, most definitely. There are so many niches and things that they have set up that make it very, very difficult. Unless you're a multimillionaire and you can pay for a staff to go out and, hire a company like they did last time, which didn't work out too well. So we didn't do that. We had teams all over Michigan who were enthused about getting signatures for us. The majority of ours came from Kent County and Wayne County. And those folks realized that, having a governor candidate who really cares about them is just incredible, because that's not happening in the Democratic Party. They don't care about their constituents, and the Republicans never go into Wayne County or Detroit. And Justin, I'm telling you, God is doing some amazing things in Wayne County for me right now, and it's just unbelievable.
Pastor Ralph Freeman with this.
Yes, we will fix it.
And again, as you probably heard me note in the story that Republicans aren't the only ones dealing with this right now. They're trying to kick one of the Democrat folks off, the candidates off the ballot as well. When it comes to these signatures. And we know that she's got a long history, Secretary of State, not just what she did in 2022, but you go back to 2024, didn't want to let Trump on the ballot, but also Jocelyn Benson at the same time wanted to keep RFK on the ballot when he wanted to get off. So none of this makes any sense. And the Secretary of State, again, with these signature shenanigans.
It is so true. And that's why I said, I don't trust her. And that's why I've been telling people that we will investigate this, not only investigate this on my behalf, but investigate it on behalf of Michigan, because the shenanigans have to stop. The ways that they're trying to keep people off the ballots and on the ballots. And, it's just no one person should have that kind of authority. And this is going to be an interesting process to find out what the Board of Elections says, because again, Justin, I'm looking at all the people that busted their butts to get signatures for me. And, it's not like people sat around a table. These folks were beating the streets. And I just sit here and almost laugh, because there are, 500,000 more people on the qualified voter roll than there are voting age people in Michigan. And I can't believe that there are people on my ballots or my signature petitions that aren't registered to vote. They have to be on that. I mean, if Jocelyn has dead people on there, there's certainly got to be my people on there as well.
So the next step is, obviously, you and your team will move to fight this, it sounds like to me. And then there's actually a Board of Canvassers meeting that you're familiar with, and so is Perry Johnson, as you just heard what he had to say about all this, as he supports you in this fight. But that happens on May 28th. That's just a week from today, it sounds like.
Correct. And we lose a day, Memorial Day weekend in there. It's going to be a tough to get all this stuff together, but we will do it. I've been saying winners find a way, and I'm convinced that as a candidate and who has an amazing team. One of our guys was on Trump's team. He's currently talking to attorneys in D.C. about this and what we can do to respond. But I really believe let me just say this, I know we have 15,000 good signatures. And I think this is just the shenanigans, as you named it, to try to keep me off the ballot, because I am the X factor in her world. She doesn't know how she would poll against me, because it just hasn't happened. And so the reception that we're having around Michigan, in the Democratic Party, in Wayne County, with churches all over the place, I would beat her. There's not a question in my mind that I would beat Jocelyn Benson.
Well, there you have it, folks. Ralph Rebant. Now, folks want to support. Maybe they want to, pray for you or and help in the fight. What's the best way for them to do that?
Well, they could go to rebantforgovernor.com, rebantforgovernor.com. You can either spell it out or use the number. Obviously, we're going to have legal fees on this, so if anybody wants to help donate toward that, we will go after Jocelyn and her team in any way that we can.
Yeah, there you have it. Pastor, thank you for the update. We appreciate it, and keep us posted on this. Again, a week from today, we'll have, I'm sure, more information as the fight continues.
All right, and we'll keep you informed as we get closer as well. Thanks, Justin.
You got it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. God bless. There he is. Breaking news, Pastor Ralph Rebant, and you heard it here first, probably. I don't think he's talked to anybody else yet. Is it another case of these signature shenanigans? And I think I really do. I think it's a valid argument to bring up. When you're talking about restricting access to the ballots, this is a tricky scenario. And, of course, never should be even an appearance of impropriety in our elections whatsoever at all. But the most lawless Secretary of State in the history of this state may, in fact, be at it again. That wouldn't be a surprising, as she runs her own election to try and be elected as governor. Well, the stakes are high, folks. Back at it with more. We continue our conversation coming up in just moments. You can join in, too. 616-774-2420 or...
questions. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Thursday, May 21st. I'm Robin Poffman. It's a Midwesterner.news original story. Former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill, who took out top terrorist Osama bin Laden, endorsing John James for Michigan governor. He joined him on the campaign trail in Grand Rapids. O'Neill telling reporters, "I'm here because I fought for America, and Michigan is the Alamo." The former Democrat mayor of Flint, Karen Weaver, telling the Midwesterner she took voter fraud concerns to Jocelyn Benson and says she was told she was pushing a Republican agenda. And a new Fox News poll finds nearly half of Democrats believe the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in D.C. was staged. 49% of Democrats think the assassination attempt on President Trump was arranged. For these stories and more, visit The Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
Brett Paquito of Wood Radio here with one question.
All right, full speed ahead, folks. Felt it was important. Reached out to Ralph, got him on this morning, and he was kind enough to come on. I thought you might want to hear from him directly. Gritter, good to see you this morning on the VIP live stream behind the scenes with our good friends over on Locals. Panda's here. Mando, good to see you too. Thank you. Good to see you. Let's see here. Sharon is here. Got to go back a little bit to see if I can find a few more. And the chat, it's been lively this morning. It won't let me go back as far as I'd like to. But good to see you over on Rumble today, folks. History Diggers, Gary. Such a time as this. Julianne, Jen, Lynn, good to see you. L. Walren, Tierra, thank you so much. Beasley. And so many others. The Bookers are here too. Mike, Mary, Tammy, Sherry, thank you. John over on the tube. We got some tubers in the house today too. And folks on X watching, as always, let us know if you haven't done so yet. Click share. Make sure you help us get the word out, because if you do, at the end of the show, the end of the stream, we're going to pick somebody to win something cool from the Justin store. We got tees, we got hoodies, we got mugs. Of course, you can buy things inside there and support us. We appreciate that support. It does help go a long way. Of course, it's not like we're making a mint on this stuff, but it does help get the word out about what we're doing. So if you help us share today, you'll do just that. You'll get a shirt so you can walk around and do that. Be a walking billboard, right, to promote us. But then also at the same time, you're going to be able to help get the word out, break the algorithm, cut through the noise, truth, logic, and common sense on social media, because we know, especially on Facebook. Oh boy. Every day it's a whole nother thing. So there you have it, folks. That's the latest, and so my story, and sticking to it. Now, if you've won something in the past year and you're starting to get your gear in, I saw some folks, in fact, that one had a delay and got his in. Now, listen, send me pictures. Either email or post them online somewhere I can see them. Send them to me so that I can actually share them out and show people you're looking good in your gear. That's what I'm hoping, anyway. Hang on, folks. Back after it right here live in just moments.
Radio app powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto accident attorneys. Visit autolaw.com.
That's autolaw.com.
Yeah, the signature issue, the ballot collected, it really is tricky because, again, on one hand, if you go all in on volunteers and they do it, and of course you got to train them, you got to make sure, but these again are just average everyday people, and they got to make sure they're doing all the things, like I said, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, all those things have to be done. And as we just spoke with Pastor Ralph Rebat, they said he had a good team ahead doing that, and they collected more. But how much more do you have to do in order to account for any sort of mistakes or issues it might be? So it remains to be seen whether he actually makes the ballot or not. But again, this shouldn't come up every election season, folks. This whole process ought to be a lot more smooth, a lot more streamlined. But again, I realize we're talking about government, so that's usually not the way it operates. The other thing that is an issue too is if you then have enough money and you go out and you organize a team and you go out, and the other thing they do is buy the signatures. Now, what I mean by that is that you actually pay people to go out and collect the signatures. Of course, you want to collect enough there, too, to make sure. But we've seen in 22, Perry Johnson mentioned that in his statement, that he had an issue coming up with enough. He didn't get on it because there were problems. And we saw people arrested. We've seen people indicted for this. So there really ought to be a better system to make all of that clean, clear, transparent, and then let's get on with it. Because I'm telling you, we got races to win. 2026 is an important year. And the less time we got to stand around sort of arguing and try to figure things out. Well, the less time for that, the better. Because then we can actually focus on what matters most. It's getting out, making the case, getting the people to come out and vote, and realize, look, do you want what we've had nearly the last decade here in this state and even more beyond? You want to keep things going down that way in a managed decline, or is it time to make Michigan great again? Speaking of which, you're going to send some back up to President Trump. Former Congressman Mike Rogers joins us running for Senate next on the latest updates. These stories and more. Don't go anywhere. It's West Michigan Live. Checking our news. Bottom of the hour. Market set to open and more right after this.
Focused on what matters to you. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
It's Justin Barkley for the Good Feet Store. Yes, it's time to get out and get back to it, whether you're in the garden, you're at the beach, or maybe you're at work, on the job, work or play. It doesn't matter. Your day should be smooth sailing in comfort and confidence. And you can do just that with the folks at the Good Feet Store. Walk in today at 28th Street, right in front of Costco, or in Portage in front of Kohl's, and see how they can help you today at the Good Feet Store.
It's Steve Kelly from my friends at Roof Doctor. After recent storms ripped.
All right, folks, here we go. Rolling right along. And let's see. Make sure. Yeah, pull this down a little bit. There we go. All right. Thank you so much for being here with us as we continue the fastest hour in radio. Just flying by. I got to think about what else I wanted to make sure that you see today. We got an after show we're going to jam pack for you. This show is gone faster and more furious than ever. Oh, I shared this. Yeah, now there's a little bit of language in this. I'll just warn you, there's a little bit of language. It's not too bad. It's the S word. But if you got young ears or you're in a place where you got to be safe for work, you may want to keep in mind there's a little bit of language in this. It's the latest ad from, and it's another one of these AI ads, but it's the latest ad from Spencer Pratt. Somebody's going to study what he's been doing this whole time because he's going to go down in the record books. You've got, I think this election, it's like a week or two away, not to mention the primary in Texas. President Trump has endorsed Attorney General Ken Paxton there. Looks like he's going to. Actually, that's another point I got to make about Senate and Congress and elections and money raised. There's a lot of talk about the money raised in the Thomas Massey election. But it's such interesting. I don't necessarily think it's the money as much as it is the Trump endorsement. Trump went 37-0. Now, I know there are going to be people that don't agree with me on that. So I got you. But Trump went 37-0 the other night. And that's pretty massive. If Paxton beats Cornyn, which I'd love to see. Cornyn is, the definition of a rhino, anti-Trump, etc. If Massey beats Cornyn, or Paxton beats Cornyn, all the names again. Anyway, they spent over $100 million against Ken Paxton. I mean, this has been an expensive race so far. So this sort of proves the money isn't the thing. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Take a look at this. Speaking of money, there are people jumping up and getting behind him right now. There's lots of people coming out of the woodwork to hate on him too. But these ads just keep making me laugh. Again, there's a little bit of language in this, but it's funny as all get out.
This mayor race is really heating up. Who you guys voting for? Haven't decided?
Same, haven't really been following it.
Same.
Same.
I'm not MAGA or anything. But the city's kind of gone to shit, though, right? Oh, yeah. Jessica stepped on a needle at the playground the other day. I'm not MAGA or anything, though. I'm not.
I made this point yesterday when I shared the fountain video with you, and how like the people in DC were just floored, like, wow, the fountain's flowing again. These are liberals that never voted for Trump. They never would. Of course, this is out in LA where it's like, you can't even have the appearance of any of that. I'm not MAGA or anything. It's not MAGA. It's not anything extreme or radical. And MAGA isn't either, but it's not extreme or radical to say, I don't want my kids to have to walk through needles and God knows what else is on the ground when they're at the playground, and I don't want to have to worry about my house burning down. That's why this thing is so effective.
Not MAGA or anything, but have you been downtown lately? Looks like an episode of The Walking Dead. Not that I'm MAGA or anything, though.
Spencer Pratt seems like he has some good ideas. Not that I'm MAGA or anything. He does seem really angry all the time, though.
Well, they did burn his house down.
Also, apparently he's staying at the Bel Air Hotel, not the trailer on his property.
Well, yeah. They burned his house down.
Again, it's AI. It's obvious it's AI, but it is so good.
Okay, we're all adults here. How about on 3, we just say who we're voting for?
And wait for it, because the best part is yet to come.
1, 2, 3.
Spencer Pratt. Yeah. Spencer Pratt.
Spencer Pratt.
Watch this. Wait for it.
Can you imagine if our wives knew?
We're all voting for Spencer Pratt, right?
Of course. Obviously. I wish I could vote like yesterday.
So good. I think I could win. If Spencer Pratt pulls this off and wins, Mayor of LA, I'm telling you, we're watching. I mean, you're watching a revolution. There's just really no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. All right, folks, stand by. We're back on the air in about 39 seconds here as we prepare here. All right, here we go.
I was still only going to get 12. A lot of people will be okay with that. And the reason they're not aware of it is they haven't been told before.
To learn more, reach out to Mike Lester and his team at Talon Wealth Management. 616-373-3000. 616-373-3000. Advisory services offered through Talon Private Wealth LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Glenn Beck, and you're listening to West Michigan Live with our good friend Justin Barclay. The Glenn Beck program coming up at 10 on Wood Radio.
Jump in at any time. Love to hear from you on the MKD Funeral Home Talkback button there in the iHeartRadio app. Just click it. It's right next to the play button. It looks like a little microphone. Just hit that thing. You can rant, rave, sound off. Love to hear from you on West Michigan Live. Justin at justinbarclay.com as well. As things start to heat up in these races, 2026, as I mentioned, things are really moving. And boy, we got a lot to talk about. In fact, you see Castro indicted. We got that big news story out of yesterday's massive news drop. You got the president talking about that. Iran, the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization. Have you seen this $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund created with a DOJ settlement? It's IRS lawsuit as well. There's some of that to dig into. Yet we'll get to some of those stories as well as one of these former federal prosecutors indicted for stealing copies of the Jack Smith report over on Trump. So again, a few stories out there that are sort of hiding in the mix, and we'll make sure we get to those as well. But first, Mike Rogers with us right now is running for Senate here in Michigan as a Republican, and things are moving in the race. Welcome in, Mike. I appreciate you taking the time. We just talked about this, and I don't know if you heard the previous segment with Ralph Reman and the signature gathering process, but again, things are really heating up. I know you've gotten your signatures taken care of and well in order as well, but is this process, as the news is coming in, is this a process that it maybe needs to be looked at or done differently in the future?
Well, I do think you need a minimum standard here to get on the ballot. Otherwise, these things just become nightmarish. So if you can't go out and put a team together, raise the appropriate amount of finances for a statewide race to qualify, you should never really turn in. I think you have to have 15,000, anything close to it, because there's always going to be error rates. And so what you have to do is get as close to that 30,000, and you can't go over 30,000. You can also get disqualified.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
You got to, and so you have to. It is a little bit of gamemanship there. I'd love it to see it easier, but minimum standards are important. Think about that. Do you want a candidate who just walks in? In some states, you just plop down $1,000 and you're a candidate. The problem is, you can't raise volunteers, you can't raise finances, you can't put together a campaign. If you want to win these races, you need to show that you can at least perform at this very, very basic level. We did it. We did it last time. We did it this time. No problems. Other people were having problems. I mean, this is a part of campaigning, and you have to think through this process about how you're going to get on the ballot.
Yeah, it is tough, but the other piece of this is, and again, you just mentioned, but it is a bit of gamesmanship, but also we have Democrats playing games with all kinds of election issues. And look,
no doubt about it. We have the worst Secretary of State in the nation when it comes to election integrity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not me saying it. That's just the fact. We've got 50, whatever it is, I think it's 53 counties have more registered voters than there are eligible voters in the county. The Secretary of State refuses to remove voters who are in, clean up those voter rolls. Putting in place everything that they can to make it easier for Democrats to kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, get enough votes in those ballot boxes. And so they're really eroding people's confidence in their vote. And that's what's so dangerous about what they're doing. Listen, let it be. You make it as easy as possible. And by God, if you have to show your ID to get Sudafed when you have a cold, you ought to be able to show your vote for a vote in an election. I don't know. We've got to get SAVE Act passed. We have to wish the RNC some success. They're trying to sue the Secretary of State to do her job and clean up these rolls. It's crazy. It comes to a lawsuit.
So you just mentioned the SAVE Act, which is a big one. But, as someone who's running for Senate here in Michigan, one of the things that folks in the state really want to see is finally some representation from a Republican, from somebody who will maybe, as we look at the president trying to get his agenda passed, going to be someone who's going to be there to be backup for him and get that done. The SAVE Act's been a big deal. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We need to get that done. And then think of all the other executive orders. Things are going well now. This is why this election is equally as important. If the president, somebody else comes in after this president, let's just say we don't win as Republicans in the next presidential election. I hope that's not true, but could happen. Well, guess what? All those EOs get washed away.
Yeah.
And so we need to be aggressive about making sure that our borders are secure, about this pushing regulation from absolutely crazy government overreach back to some common sense. Those things are going to take legislative action, and we need to get on it. And we're only going to have 2 years to this next election of the president being there. And again, why that's also important. Imagine finally, after 30 some years, having a United States senator who cares about Michigan, born and raised in Michigan, grew up and raised his family in Michigan, walk into the Oval Office and say, Mr. President, this is what we need for Michigan. We haven't had that. We're not going to have that if we send another Democrat back there. After 32 years, we ought to wise up and say we've got a lot of work to do here, and we're going to need some extra help to make sure Michigan gets back up off her feet after what Democrats have done to us. This is that election to send that message and to have a chance for our kids and grandkids growing up here in Michigan.
Mike Rogers running for Senate here in Michigan. And as I mentioned, such a critical race. When you look at the contrast, though, between you and the options on the left and the Democrats, I don't think it's ever been more clear. They have gone so far to the left and so far extreme, and not one of them has any shred of common sense, or every single one. In fact, yesterday, we've talked about Syed. We've talked about McMorrow yesterday, who can't get enough of California. Just wants to get out of Michigan, doesn't like it. I mean, she's been caught in some of the things that she sent out on Twitter and whatnot through the years. But yesterday, we got Haley, who kind of might pretend to be one of the most common sense animals. She voted against something that couldn't be more common sense yesterday in the House.
It's unbelievable. And by the way, this is who they're trying to sell to you as normal. When you voted against parents having to be notified if your 5-year-old is trying to be transgendered. That's not normal on any standard. And it's dangerous when the government decides that they know better than parents in all cases. And she proudly voted against that bill. That's not the first time she's voted like that. And this is their idea of what the normal candidate is.
Yeah.
So you can imagine where the other two are. The other one hates Michigan, apparently pretty significantly by her tweets. And the other one believes that America deserved 9/11. That's who the Democrat Party of 2026 is. They've got a guy with a Nazi tattoo is their nominee, and he's an angry Nazi apparently, and that's why apparently it's okay for Democrats to support him. You have mayors in both New York, and there's another one out west that believe that capitalism should be killed and the government should run your grocery stores. This is the new Democrat Party in 2026. I think this is so important for people to get fired up about this and go out and send a message. We are not tolerating that nonsense in America. A lot of work to do here that we can get done in Michigan. But, man, sending somebody back there that it comes anywhere close to these three, I think is dangerous for the future of our state.
We've heard a lot about the, with the kids they're going through right now, a lot of the younger voters and folks here in Michigan, obviously backing President Trump's agenda to make things affordable, backing President Trump's agenda, particularly what we've seen with the One Big Beautiful Bill, the tax cuts, all the money people have gotten back. And now I know he's working on energy. He's working on getting the gas prices down. What we're seeing in Iran is playing out as that continues to move through as well. How much of that are you hearing on the trail as well?
Yeah, affordability is still a very, very important issue. It was last election. It is this election. Here's the good news. Obviously, the Iran issue has caused gas prices to go up. That hurts everybody. Everybody drives to work every day. Feels that pain for sure. So what we ought to be focusing on, by the way, the elected officials, of which many of them are in office who are running for office, ought to focus on how we structurally drive down energy prices. I know that's what the president is working on. And I support him bringing down those prices. I also support the fact that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. And so I do believe that will get solved. The president's working on that. And now let's look at all the things that we can do to bring structurally prices down. Remember, the Democrats put in place high energy prices that were going to continue to go up. The last two requests for your utility bills by DTE and consumers came from Democrat mandates that they passed in 2023.
Yeah.
They are raising artificially your electric rates. And so somehow that they're running around saying they're going to make things better. You made it bad. Now you're trying to make it worse. And so what we need to do, focus on bringing these prices down, focus on making sure that everybody's cost of living comes down. And the other part of that is better jobs and better pay, and continue to put money in your pocket. They all voted against or expressed support against, no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. Well, I met a guy the other day who used to write a $500 check every year because of how much overtime he worked. Oh, and by the way, Justin, he paid taxes on that all year round and still had to write $500. This year he got $3,500 back. And that's his money. And the Democrats believe it's their money. They believe they take that money, and apparently they want to send it to Minnesota, where where you can start a Leering Center and get a great return on your investment. I mean, it's just wrong the way they've structured this. And let's focus on all of that. When Iran gets settled, guess what? Those gas prices are coming down, and I think we'd all appreciate that.
Well, I kind of laughed ahead. You can either laugh or cry, but what is happening, obviously, in Minnesota and all across the country, Democrats and this fraud, is a whole nother thing that drives up prices for everybody. And we are paying so much in taxes, the average American family, and it's going into the pockets of these fraudsters. That's a big piece that I think folks want to see cracked down on. Again, if you want to support, obviously, Mike Rogers running for governor, Senate, trying to send some backup to President Trump. He could use it. It's time now more than ever. Best way for folks to follow you, maybe catch up with you online and stop out and see you when you're out and about.
Rogers for Senate, ROGERS for Senate.com. And this is the chance, I think, for all of us to finally put a stamp on common sense going back to Washington. My dad had a great day. He always said, you either send your guy to Washington, D.C., or they're going to send their guy to you. And what's been happening for 32 years in Michigan is that we've been sending people who care more about Washington, D.C. than the state of Michigan. This is our chance to finally get some common sense where you can think, finally, D.C. is at least trying to do the right thing and doing the right thing. And RogersForSenate.com is the way to do it. We've hit 200,000 doors already, unprecedented in statewide Michigan politics. 200,000, think of that. And we're only getting started. And we're beating all three of the Democrats in polling right now. And this is in the current environment. So this is the chance. Make this real. Be a part of history for the first time in 32 years. Send some common sense back to Washington by electing a Republican.
There you have it, Mike Rogers, running for Senate. Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, sir. I hope you're well. Thanks.
You too. God bless. Absolutely. Hey, folks, rolling full speed ahead. More coming up, and big weekend festivities. It is a big Memorial Day weekend. We'll talk about what we're doing specifically to honor those folks who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the country above and beyond. Checking the markets this morning. Little down movement, little red on the screen. Stocks falling as oil pops. Oil dropped yesterday and stocks rose. It's funny to watch the roller coaster ride. It's not funny if it's your retirement and it's today or tomorrow. Well, even if it's 10, 20 years down the road, it's a roller coaster ride at times, it feels like, as Trump's trying to do the right thing to get everything back on track. And look, as you go through it all, a little calm in the storm. Folks at Talon Wealth, Mike Lester and the team want to help you get there. Reach out to Mike and the team today, guardingyournestegg.com, or you can go online. Call them 616-661-1000 and do it today.
Setting the record straight. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner. This Thursday, May 21st, I'm Robin Poffman. It's a Midwesterner.news original story.
And that's what he's going to do in Lansing now. He's going to go to Michigan. He's going to take charge that way and then make Michigan great again.
That's former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill, who took out top terrorist Osama bin Laden. He is endorsing John James for Michigan governor. He joined him on the campaign trail in Grand Rapids. O'Neill telling reporters, "I'm here because I fought for America, and Michigan is the Alamo." The two appearing together on the Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network.
It's an honor to have him back in Michigan to really show the state of Michigan that fighters are at the front, fighting for our republic, fighting for our values, and fighting for our way of life.
And Karen Weaver, the former Democrat mayor of Flint, telling the Midwesterner she took voter fraud concerns to Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson and says that she was told that she was pushing a Republican agenda. For these stories and more, visit The Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
You know how it goes. Summer hits fast.
All right, click share, folks, if you haven't already done so just yet. The fastest hour on radio flying by. And it's a doozy again today. If you click share, though, we're going to put you in the running at the end of the show. You're going to get your pick. We'll pick somebody to get your pick of something cool from inside the Justin store. And like I said, so much good stuff. Tees, hoodies. We've got mugs and more, and great gifts for Father's Day. Yeah, you can buy it, but I'd love to just give it to you as well. So, got you an opportunity for that. America 250 gear is headed out soon. We'll give you a shot to win some cool stuff for the America 250 gear as the time approaches. Healthwithjustin.com. Thanks to Maha Missy. We had a great conversation yesterday. Did you miss it? We were all over the road. The obviously the food, what's happening with our food right now, and of course, the virus stuff they keep pushing. I see more headlines about Ebola now. They jumped the shark from hantavirus, and now they've moved on to Ebola. It's the same playbook, the same blueprint, same game plan the entire time. Fear, pushing the fear. I think fear is the virus. I really do. And they keep pushing it nonstop. But one of the things we talked about is how to stay safe, stay healthy, no matter what, and confront that fear. And Maha Missy gave us some great tips on that yesterday. They'll be out in the podcast dropping this weekend by itself. But if you have not had a chance maybe to see it, you can actually go back and watch yesterday's after show or the full stream from yesterday. Anyway, down over 40 pounds. My wife and I both, we heard Mike the other day, down 40 pounds. And so many of these great stories, these testimonials from people. If you see at healthwithjustin.com, you see my story before and after. I'm still on that after road, right? But you'll see all these other great testimonials and stories. Healthwithjustin.com. You can call them today. Ask Missy questions. Really, she'll have a great conversation with you. And it's common sense, but walking you through the things that you need to know, because it may not be your fault. And here's the deal. Right now, if you sign up, you will, and join our Maha Revolution, you'll save 25% off. She's doing something really cool right now. They're doing the America 250 sale, 25% off for the Freedom Fam only, Justin listeners only. America is turning 250, so 25% off. And ladies, you can drop 2 to 3 pant sizes in 40 days. Men often down 35, 45 pounds in 40 days. Before summer's even done, you can get in and start feeling great again. Changing from the inside out. It is the Maha Revolution, man. It is an inside job. Anyway, back on the air here momentarily as we put the wraps on some of these things here that we're doing. And can't wait to share some of that with you coming up here in just a moment. Stand by for news. Dun, 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 dun. All right, here we go. Back on the air, folks.
Heart Radio app, powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto accident attorneys. Visit autolaw.com.
That's autolaw.com.
What a great story. In fact, I can't wait to share this with you. It's a feel-good moment. Speaking of feeling good, by the way, I know it's tough. It can really be an emotional roller coaster. You're trying to get yourself or maybe your kids, you're trying to get your parents into assisted living. That's why Kevin Yoder came up with a Senior Smooth Move plan. SeniorSmoothMove.com. I'm doing this with my parents right now as we're walking through that moment in life. You know, my dad's had a few issues here and there, and they're both. My dad's 80. My mom's gonna be 80. And we're walking through this moment in time with our folks, watching this kind of play out, and it can really be, like I said, very emotional. Feeling overwhelmed trying to get this done. Well, you're not alone. You don't have to be. Kevin Yoder, the Yoder Real Estate team at LPT Realty want to help you. They built a senior smooth move plan to help families like yours. They'll prep and sell the home, line up the move, coordinate every detail so nothing falls through the cracks. But you got to reach out to Kevin and the crew today. SeniorSmoothMove.com. SeniorSmoothMove.com, or call them at 616-303-5671 to get set up for success as we speak. A great moment. The Secretary of War yesterday administering the reenlistment of Staff Sergeant Johnny Joey. You've seen him. Now you see him going back into it.
I, Johnny Joseph Jones,
do solemnly swear
swear
that I will support and defend
the
Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith.
By the way, this is the young man who's, he's lost his legs. I don't know the full extent of how he's going to move on in serving, but what a beautiful moment. Speaking of which, we're gearing up for some beautiful moments this weekend. It's a Memorial Day weekend service. And yes, we will honor those folks who have made this country great. And we'll also honor the sacrifice of our Lord as well this weekend. I just got such a great message for you. I got 3 services at New Chapel on 4 Mile, just off of Alpine there. 8:30, 10, and 11:30. You can find out more at newchapel.com, but I'll be speaking this Sunday at New Chapel, and I'd love to invite you to come out. I'd love to meet you if we never met before, or catch up if we have. newchapel.com, and I'll be sharing this out on my social as well. Make it a great one, folks. Back with you tomorrow. One Back program is coming up next in our after show. God bless.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. God is the kingdom, power, and glory forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
WOOD Grand Rapids, WOOD FM Muskegon. The news is next on Wood Radio.
An iHeart radio station.
Guaranteed human.
Come, sit, stay, party. The Bissell Blocktail Party is back Tuesday, June 2nd. This year's celebration draws inspiration from the fairway.
All right, here we go, folks. Yeah, the story about I'll share a little bit more of this. It's a really good story, but the story about this young man you probably remember. This is the guy you've seen, Joey Jones on Fox News. Staff Sergeant Johnny Joey Jones, a Marine with 8 years of service, including combat in Iraq and Afghanistan. Jones, who lost both legs to an IED in Helmand Province in 2010 while serving as an EOD technician, demonstrates continued commitment by re-enlisting despite his injuries. The ceremony video shows both men reciting the oath with raised hands before an emotional hug, drawing widespread positive reaction. Very cool. Very cool moment. All right, let me click a few buttons, and then we'll get our after show rolling right along. We'll pick our winner before we leave today, too. So if you haven't clicked share, do that right now. We get the word out. Stand by. Here we go.
Get ready to strap in. It's going to be a heck of a ride. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Never a dull moment, but yes, you'll hear the stories you won't hear anywhere else, and we appreciate you being here with us for them today. I'm Justin Barclay.
To the after show, the show after the show. That's why we call it the after show. Never a dull moment, never enough time to get you all of those stories, but we got them lined up. The ones that you really kind of saved the stack for you for later here. So you're going to save it for later this weekend. Going to be at New Chapel, newchapel.com. The church on 4 Mile there, just right off of Alpine near the Chick-fil-A. It's Sunday, May 24th, 8:30, 10, and 11:30 for the services, and I'll be at all 3 with a special message for you, America 250, Memorial Day 250, honoring folks. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. Little housekeeping for you. Say thanks to the folks who helped share the program today as well. We've got something good lined up for you inside the Justin store. You go shopping. We got America 250 gear on the way, but in the meantime, pick out a shirt, a hoodie, a mug, or more at justinbarclay.com/store. My Pillow. Don't forget the My Pillow mattress sale happening right now. The Memorial Day mattress sale happening is 50% off savings from Mike Lindell and the team at My Pillow. That's pretty amazing. 50% off savings, and you'll get free shipping on those mattresses too. It's pretty incredible stuff. You can support a Patriot at the same time, support this program too, but support Mike, and you'll be able to support yourself in comfort as you sleep. The best night's sleep in the whole wide world with those. Not only the My Pillows, which I sleep on every night, and the sheets and the towels that I use. I mean, folks, if you need anything for the home, this is the time to do it, especially beach towels. You think about going to the beach, slipper slides, all of that. The mattress sale, you can save big. This is a time, spring cleaning, you kind of think about redoing it. Do it now. Anytime you need anything from the house, go check out Mike first. It's always what I say, because they've got all kinds of great deals, but they got the coffee, which I sip on daily as well. That's the sound of my coffee. So mypillow.com, mystore.com/Justin. Use promo code Justin. Patricia's coming. It's good to see you, Patricia. I'll see you Sunday. Anybody else, make sure you tell me. Let me know, because I want to make sure that I catch up with you. I don't want to miss you. So make sure you give me, it's like an RSVP or save you a seat or anything like that. But, maybe I can. Anyway, I do want to make sure I don't miss you on Sunday. So I think it's important. All right, I got to show the end of this clip because I didn't have time to play the whole thing. And usually I end on a high note, so we'll start on a high note today. He's swearing back in, and what a moment. Secretary War Pete.
And allegiance to the same.
And allegiance to the same.
That I will obey the orders.
That I will obey the orders.
Of the President of the United States.
Of the President of the United States.
And the orders of the officers.
And the orders of the officers.
Appointed over me.
Appointed over me.
According to regulations.
According to regulations.
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
That's so cool. I love that. I absolutely love it. Oh, what a brave, he's just an incredible man. I mean, he left. Don't get me wrong. The guy had a lucrative career at Fox News. He had the ability to stay there, and Hegseth was the same way. Could have stayed. I tell you, these are cushy jobs. They really are. And to me, the fact that he's willing to sacrifice all that and go off and now it's not like the guy, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be like, at the end of the day, like he'd probably have a pretty solid job there, right? Re-enlisting. But let's be honest. Life be a lot more comfortable if he just stayed where he was. You know what I mean? A lot more comfortable if he just just stick around. Me and I you're home every night, all of that. Trust me, he didn't have to go off and do this. And yet here he is doing just that to make sure, again, he's making a sacrifice. And I don't know, you just can't say enough for that these days, especially with the way that, everybody is so out for themselves. We really are in a me generation, aren't we? We really are. Hey, they are going to be talking with the CEO on Capitol Hill next week or a couple of weeks from now of the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center. Why? New. This just in. Jim Jordan, yesterday I think they had one of the hearings on this, but Jim Jordan announced the human sources who infiltrated January 6th, and we now know lots of FBI agents, lots of feds there, may have been paid by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Well, why is this important? Well, folks, look, in order to take this whole thing down, this is where you have to go chopping. The head of the snake. This is where you have to go chopping.
Committed to come. We also sent a subpoena yesterday for documents dealing with this fraud. They called these guys field sources. Here's a key question I have too. Were any of the guys they were paying, was the Biden Justice Department paying these same guys confidential human sources? We know 26 confidential human sources were at the Capitol on January 6th. 4 went in the Capitol. They weren't authorized to do so. I want to know if any of these guys were double dipping and taking money from the government and from the Southern Poverty Law Center. That's one of the things we want to find out.
That would be another new chapter if true and if proven. Sir, thank you for your
He's committed to come. We also sent a subpoena yesterday for documents dealing with this fraud. They called these guys field sources. Here's a key question I have too. Were any of the guys they were paying, was the Biden Justice Department paying these same guys?
Come on. Come on now. I mean, now you're starting to get to it. And now I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking. Because I think the same thing, and yes. I get it. I'll believe it when I see it, right? Yeah, I just want to see. I just want to see some arrests. But we have. And we are going to see more. Time will tell. Patience is a fruit of the Spirit. It is a virtue. But I'm telling you right now, and this is, this is a big one. I can't make any promises, but it certainly appears that we are starting to really see some movements. In fact, one of them came yesterday. This whole story, and it gives me, look, I'm cautiously optimistic. I remain hopeful. But we did see an indictment yesterday. We did see an indictment. In fact, this is one of the guys that tried to run off with apparently some top secret documents or whatever inside the Jack Smith probe on President Trump. This guy has been indicted, ex-federal prosecutor, stealing copies of the Jack Smith report on Trump. I said this guy, but it was a woman who did this. Former DOJ attorney indicted for concealment, theft of government records. And in the emails where she talked about this, apparently she knew what she was doing. She hid what she was doing by marking her emails, quote unquote, cake recipe. Cake recipe. Huh? Come on. What? Lock him up. Lock him up. Ritter has a saying that has to do with the rope and certain. Yeah. That too. Also yesterday, the Trump administration announcing a new $1.8 billion move in order to the anti-weaponization fund, in order to help some of the folks who have been victims of the Biden DOJ, the Biden era lawfare, so to speak. Some of those January 6th defendants, his IRS lawsuit. Now, apparently $100 million or so, it may save the Trump family. They can never go after them and audit them from here on out, apparently, is the story. This is huge. Their lives were torn apart. They lost their fortunes. Many of them some of them sent to jail, and some they tried to send back. They tried to send to jail. You remember the electors, the alternate electors. Now, I don't know about you, but holy smokes. Imagine trying to fight for your life because they throw you in jail, and we had these people that one of the guys died during the process of trying to fight this here in Michigan. Randy said $1.776 billion to be exact. That's hilarious. But think about everything that they went through. And a lot of them, aside, like I mentioned, these aren't criminals. These were people in their 80s. These were senior citizens just trying to do their civic duty. And as you saw, boy, they came after him. And look, again, let's not make any mistake here. They want to come after everybody. Anybody that had anything to do with Trump, boy, they were coming after him. Anybody that had anything to do with anything, saying anything remotely, truth, logic, and common sense online. I would say conservative, but I don't even think it's conservative anymore. Just to say, well, I'm a parent, I want to be involved and speak up at a school board meeting. I don't think that's conservative when you say, I just don't want my daughter to be in the same bathroom as a boy. I don't think that's conservative. I think that's just common sense. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you. Looking at now, reports about what's shaking out in Iran, and I think this is going to be an interesting one to follow. I saw somebody mention this earlier today. Is it true? Is it true that the Iran's now saying, "What, the uranium's got to stay in Iran"? No. This back and forth. Let's just get it over with. That's what you're thinking, right? Let's just get it over with. Trump and the White House responding to this latest.
Well, we just got some news from Reuters. They're reporting that the supreme leader of Iran is saying that the enriched uranium inside the country must stay inside of Iran. This is a position they've held since the very beginning of all of these negotiations, and they're not budging on this as far as the Reuters reporting today. So we'll see how it complicates matters in these latest rounds of talks. The president still, though, hopes that Iran will come to a deal, but he's warning that he's willing to ditch this 6-week ceasefire and resume strikes if they give him the wrong answer. Watch.
We're going to give this one shot. I'm in no hurry. You never think, oh, the midterms, I'm in a hurry. I'm in no hurry. Ideally, I'd like to see few people killed as opposed to a lot. We can do it either way, but I'd like to see few people killed.
So Pakistan's interior minister arrived in Tehran again yesterday to hold talks with the president of Iran. And it comes as Axios reports that Qatar and other regional allies have been refining the peace proposal to try to bridge any remaining gaps between the two sides. This is what Axios wrote. The goal of the new effort is to get more tangible commitments from the Iranians over steps regarding their nuclear program and more specifics from the U.S. as to how frozen Iranian funds will be gradually released. Meanwhile, Israel is pushing back on reports that Trump held a dramatic tense phone call with the prime minister there, Benjamin Netanyahu, Tuesday night, who'd rather continue strikes.
What have you said to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Iran and how long to hold off on strikes?
He's fine. He'll do whatever I want him to do. He's a very, very good man. He'll do whatever I want him to do.
We've got some brand new Fox News polling out on who is winning in Iran.
Come on, polling? Do we need this? We've taken out everything. We've taken out their military. We've taken out literally all they have left is this, pirate stuff to the strait. They've got a few missiles here and there that they're trying to shoot off. And they've been decimated. And there's really no doubt about that. It really isn't. It's pretty clear. It's pretty obvious what's happening there. We got some new polling. Oh, great.
65% of respondents say the U.S. is, 34% say Iran is. As far as U.S. military action against Iran, whether or not they support it, 60% now oppose military action against Iran. 58% of respondents say the cost of living is their top economic worry. The average price of unleaded gas now about $4 in every single state.
By the way, the new talking point is, before it's even gotten there, I saw some kid. I don't know who she is. she apparently works for the local channel here, Fox 17 or something. So she's like, I don't know. She's like a kid. Looking at her thing she posted yesterday. And she's like, we're getting ready. The highest gas prices, new record, the highest summer gas prices ever of all time. And I'm like, wait a minute. Time out. Something's off here. And I had to go through and dig into it because I thought, well, that's not right. So I did a little research and I dug up this. By the way, this is what Rock had to say. The highest gas prices, summer gas prices of all time, actually occurred in summer of 2022. But they're because we're at Memorial Day weekend, so they're conditioning you. They're preconditioning you to take you into the fall and, of course, the midterms. They're preconditioning you. Is that the gas prices are out of control? Well, I'll tell you, they've come down a little bit. Now, I'm not, again, in Indiana, I paid $3.83. That's higher than I want to pay. That's a big difference in what I'm paying here, $1. Essentially $1 difference in Michigan. And you go back to what I've seen lately, $4.79. I mean, we're down a little bit. It's not huge. We're down a little bit. And it's also, again, a game we've seen before. We've seen this movie last time, and we know how the media reacted. Now, again, I know for a lot of folks who don't pay attention to any of this stuff, it's not going to matter. So that's why I am, I got my eye on it. I'm watching it. But at the end of the day, where were they back in 2022? Single highest average price in West Michigan specifically, because I broke it down. There's a couple. They did the nationwide average. Nationwide single highest was 2022, June 14th, 5,016. So you know how they have the numbers at the end. So essentially 501, a little over $5 a gallon. The nationwide average. EIA monthly data shows June 2022 averaged 5,032, so 503 a gallon, all grades. Briefly exceeding $5 nationally for the first time ever in, again, June of 2022. Some states, California, etc., saw local averages over $6 and $7. Weekly peaks were around 5 to 5.11. Now, where are we now? That's probably the best question, because hold on, let me do West Michigan real quick. West Michigan, June 2022, around 5, the highest overall ever. Single highest average price, $5.17 to $5.18 a gallon for Grand Rapids, Muskegon, Holland area. That's where we are. Slightly below Michigan's statewide peak of $5.22, but still the local record. Again, this was somewhere in between the June to August range. I think that one came in June 8th through 11th of 2022. Now, again, where are we now? We are far from that. Now, not too far, but we are far from it. If you look at the averages and the actual prices, we are 20, 30 cents below it. As of May 21st, gas prices in West Michigan are running around $4.82 to $4.88 a gallon for regular unleaded. Now, some of that goes higher, obviously, but these are averages. Michigan statewide average, $4.74. Grand Rapids, Muskegon, $4.82. National, $4.56. They're already preconditioning you, and they're telling you the gas price, because you're here. What about the gas prices? Is it going to affect what you're doing this summer? Well, of course it's going to affect what I did. It affected what I did in 2022. It's the same way. You just didn't have the same energy for it. And now we understand why. But a lot of these tricks, I think, are lost on people. At the end of the day, the truth is people are still affected. They are still impacted by this stuff. And yeah, it matters. It really does. So it is something that I'm watching and we're going to keep our eye on. Speaking of something we're watching, Charlie the Duff is all over this one.
What am I doing standing in the monsoon? I'll tell you what I'm doing in the monsoon. I was supposed to be up there to do an exclusive interview with Brian McKinney, otherwise known as Loverboy, who is canoodling with Mayor Mary Sheffield. He stands accused of throwing poison dirt all around the city of Detroit. Well, he got cold feet, and I'm not even allowed at the press conference. So we'll wait for him down here. I've got questions. I got something in my eye. You said the city allowed you to use contaminated dirt. That's a hell of a statement.
We didn't question the public source. You're just like, there's an email from the city, they're saying you can use them. For us, it was like a blanket of security.
Your old supervisor from the street, Mike, he sent me these receipts. He said they're bogus, they're counterfeit, that you put shitty dirt in the neighborhood and then pass off these counterfeit as being clean. That's what he said. Just come on down, I just got some questions. That's all. I'm just saying. Here's one from your bookkeeper. She alleges that you had a forgery mill going on at the back offices. I don't know, that's what she says. I'm just asking. How much money did you make, Brian? 64? 68? How many million? How much is this gonna cost to clean up? It's $50,000 a hole. We don't got no money. Did you discuss contracts with Mary Sheffield while you were canoodling in the Four Seasons in Miami? Or do you not mix business and pleasure? Were you and Mary Sheffield carrying on while your wife was pregnant? Is that why she got so mad?
That's the current mayor of Detroit.
That she got a personal protection order? I didn't bring it up, you did. What did Duggan know and when did he know it? How did he find you?
Brian, please stand up. We're glad to have a Detroit product back home.
How'd you get on the DIA board? Who put you there? Fine art. I heard you're an art collector now. You holding stuff in Switzerland? It's the word. I'm just asking. Did you go to Duggan's wedding? You gonna vote for him for governor? Tell him about the FBI. All them people that you allegedly didn't pay, they're real mad. They know you got paid. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Come on down, little guy. Come on down.
That's great. I love it. Charlie LaDuff. Charlie LaDuff does it again. Follow Charlie, the podcast, and his updates. The guy is he is really, I mean, there's no other way to say it. He's a legend. Charlie is a legend. Hey, I want to say congratulations today for the people sharing our broadcast. You help get the word out. Lori is the one who shared today, who is a winner. I don't know if maybe Lori's won before. Lori. Hey, I want to say congratulations today for the people sharing. I do say, though, I will say this. There is no limit on how many times you can win. You help get the word out. Lori, so keep sharing because each day this is at random and it happens when you win something cool out of the store. Hey, I want to say send me an email. I'll make sure that you get it. Something cool, tee, hoodie, mug inside the store at the Justin store. Yeah, justinbarkley.com/store. And then don't forget, America 250 gear is on the way. Speaking of on the way, on Sunday, yep, going to be at New Chapel, 4 Mile, just off of Alpine. Love to see you there. Please stop by, hang out with us. And of course, I got a message for you that I think is going to be, I think it's going to be very, very timely for such a time as, and of course, it is Memorial Day 250, as we honor those who sacrificed so much for our country. I'm talking about sacrifice. That message, 8:30, 10, and 11:30. On Sunday, this Sunday. Love to see you. Say hi. Let me know if you're coming. Yep. Lori, that's you, by the way. Yes, you. Thank you so much. Hey, love to see you there. Again, healthwithjustin.com. If you haven't already, make sure you reach out. Maha, Missy, and the team. They've got some fantastic deals going on right now. America 250 and that celebration that's happening as we speak. They'll take 25% off for everyone that wants to make America healthy again. Is that you? Ladies, drop 2 to 3 pant sizes in 40 days. Guys, 35 to 45 pounds. It's possible. We did it. Restore your metabolism. Reset your body. Maybe even get off medications. It's an inside job. Get healthier from the inside out. God bless.
I'm Dr. Kirk Elliott, founder of Kirk Elliott Precious Metals. After being in the industry for more than a decade, I knew there was a better way. It's an exciting time to invest in gold and silver with the most significant bull market I've ever seen. But please don't overpay for your stuff. At KEPM, we focus on low-cost bullion only, and we don't charge a commission when you sell. We would love to connect with you, so call our office at 720-605-3900
or go to goldwithjustin.com today. All right, locals, VIPs, drip, drip, flood. Gritter says, drip, drip, flood. Indeed, indeed. Questions, comments, concerns. It's time for the after party. That's the show after the after show with the remnants. Very, very excited. Don't forget, next week is our fireside chat. Well, that's Wednesday. Love to know how many of you are coming, by the way, are making the plans to come this weekend. Is it Wednesday or Thursday next week? Either way, I'll double down, make sure I get you the right time. I think it's Wednesday at 8:30. I think. I will just double check on that for you to make sure. But questions, comments, concerns, let me have it. And we'll do a quick Ask Me Anything as I get out of working on the message for you for this weekend. Really do let me know if you are coming, because I would love to see you. All right. Stand by, folks. Gonna load up the after show. What's our Yeah, Gritter, I saw what you said about Ralph, and I actually got a message while I was on the air. I won't say who this is from, because that might give it away. This person says part of the Michigan GOP, so MIGOP can't say who they are. Not allowed to endorse. But the confidential opinion off the record. So this is off the record. And I'm not telling you who said it, so it's all off the record. But this person says there is zero chance Ralph did not have valid signatures. Literally 100% of the people that were circulating petitions for Ralph have been activists for years. And they know other activists. It's such a coincidence. Under Jocelyn Benson, her team is so great at discovering invalid signatures over the last couple of cycles. All these Republicans have been thrown off the ballot. Ralph is more than the X Factor. He's a threat to the establishment. Interesting. I like Ralph. He's a good guy. I wonder, again, in this situation and in others, you can't just keep having these problems pop up and go, it's just a coincidence. Because we never really had this issue before. So when people pay, they get stooges working for them. The stooges end up being indicted. Either way, they've got no recourse. They're still not on the ballot, and they've lost. That's a big problem.
That happened to Perry. Who else did that happen to last time around in 22? And so again, now you're telling me all of this is just another coincidence? It's just nutty. Come on. It's possible. But whether you get the volunteers to do it, right? Or you've got, and the scrutinization is a whole nother thing. Or you've got people who are, being paid to do it. My wife did a successful signature campaign for Ryan in 22. Ralph is accurate, I'm sure. Perry, James, Craig, others. I remember that. James Craig. Yeah, that was it. I remember. Data center meeting on Wednesday. Hey, keep me posted. Did you guys see some woman got kicked out of a data center? This is the wrong way to do it. I'm not complaining about what she did. I'm saying about how they kicked her out, I think was wrong. Let these people talk. Let them have their say. But she got kicked out of a data center meeting here in Michigan. Where is that? Oh, I should have played that today. I got a chance to get that in there. Hang on. Yep, here it is. There's so much I didn't get to today. Holy cow. We still start a whole nother show to do this stuff.
You're going to escort her out?
Escort her out.
Wow.
And liars.
Time to go.
You're a bunch of grifters and liars.
The seasoned citizen being pulled by the arm. Look at this. This guy pulling her by the arm. What's up with that, man? There's no need for force.
If we don't like what you're doing, we can say no. You're going to throw people out because they boo these clowns? Really? Amen. Right? Boo. Boo. Find another job. Your time is numbered.
I cannot wait to make sure that every single one of you are recalled because we already have a lawyer and it's happening.
I haven't seen a single solitary Facebook claim against the data center that's true. They're all misinformation. We love data centers here. We have the largest data center in the state of Michigan.
We're put here to make your decision for you. It's not going to always be the decision that you like, but it can be a decision it's going to be a decision that we can live with.
Who can live with it? Who are we talking about? Who can live with it? You can live with it? Anyway. As I said, that we had a stack of these things that I didn't get a chance to get through today. Working on the message. Stay with us. If you're able to make it, please let me know. I'd love to see you there. And otherwise, we will talk soon.